Okay, you guys. You all wanted me to talk about Empire. So let's go ahead and talk about Empire. I'm going to tell you where I'm at with this whole Empire thing. Let's go.
And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I
want to pull my soapbox. That's basically it.
Let's talk about drag in all its forms. What, Cookie?
Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is basically my review. It's episode 5, season 5 of Empire. I have not been reviewing all season, so I'm not going to sit here in this review and go through everything that's gone on up to this. I'm going to go right into episode 5. And it's more of the same things that have kind of made me pull back from reviewing. I've become very irritated with the quick close of storylines. It's driving me crazy. And I'm running to this with Star, and I'm running to this with Empire. And it just irritates me. Just like in this episode now, you all know Kai has been missing. You know, Kai was, abroad, because he's a journalist. He was abroad. And then all of a sudden, okay, now we just have found Kai. Really? Just that quickly? They found Kai. Who you ever know that just got found like that was missing abroad? But whatever. So they found Kai, got him back. Jamal and Cookie go on down to see him. And he basically said, the doctor says, well, let me finish getting them all checked out, and then you all can actually come on in and you'll have them all to yourself. He says, no, this is family. And of course they'd like kissing and carrying on. He says, no, this is family. They can stay. And he starts talking, and the doctor immediately goes right into viral load conversation and things of this nature that, since he was gone and he has not had his HIV meds, that his viral load has actually dropped. The numbers are not really good. So he's not at a point where he's undetectable at this point. But good news is he's going to be fine once he's back on his meds and he gets back, everything back in his system. He'll be fine in no time. It's no problem. He'll go right back to being, where he was. He'll be good. But Cookie was sitting back there, baby, with her eyes like, and she was like, wait a minute, honey. So then she steps out and she has Jamal. Jamal comes out and she says to Jamal, she goes into the whole conversation of he has AIDS and I'm not going to give you up to that and he's going to make you sick. Or did he already make you sick? The whole ignorant ghetto Cookie conversation, because you don't understand it. She don't really know a whole lot. She actually started talking to Jamal about what she saw while she was in jail, which is definitely not a good representation of what actually happens in the real world as it pertains to HIV patients. She has that whole ignorant mind frame of HIV diagnosis is a death sentence. So this was a good thing, and I know this was just like a PSA, that they were throwing out. They touched on the whole situation of PrEP and Jamal using PrEP, and she actually did. And this was so funny because as ghetto as Cookie is, she would have never asked this question. Lee Daniels cut it out. But okay, she asked him what was PrEP actually doing to him. Ignorant bitch wouldn't ask that question. But people do actually need to know that PrEP does fuck with your organs. So all of you all that's running around taking PrEP and y'all are so gung-ho, you should know there are side effects. And your kidneys and your liver are at risk when you're taking PrEP. Flat out. I mean, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's a choice that has to be made. But know that this lower region is at risk when you're taking PrEP. So though you try to block yourself from contracting the virus, you potentially are screwing up your system at the same time. And a lot of people, I don't think they either don't know it or they don't want to focus on it. So I was kind of glad that they actually threw that in there. A lot of things that needed to be talked about got talked about. So it was really a good PSA. Okay. Um, Strangely enough, Lucius, who we would think would actually have the whole ignorance thing going on, was the complete opposite. Told Cookie, you need to leave it alone. Jamal is grown. Jamal knows how to take care of himself. And you need to leave it alone because you're going to mess around and make us lose Jamal. If you think you get ready to pull Jamal away from Kai, you get ready to have a whole issue. And I ain't trying to do that with you. So then he actually ended up pulling Jamal in and talking to him himself, making sure for himself that Jamal knew exactly what he was doing and he didn't go ignorant. And they had a good conversation and it was done. I said, well, haven't the tables turned? Haven't the tables turned? Interesting, very interesting. Lucius and Devon in this episode. Lucius spent a lot of time doing the Lucius Lion thing to Devon. Devon is a good singer. He's a skilled singer, but he has no heart. He has no soul. And that's what Lucius is very good at tapping into. We seen that literally on the very first episode when he actually dealt with our little bald beauty in the beginning, honey. Got her ass right together, told her to tap into her pain of her losing her brother to gun violence and all of that. And she actually ended up getting to, coming on through and so that's what Lucius is good at. And this is what he actually went through with Devon. All at the same time, there was a guy who Lucius was baiting to do a contract for Devon. And the guy was trying to, people were really trying to kick Lucius and Cookie. Now that they're down, they trying to do them. You know what I mean? They're not coming out with these top dollar figures and things. They're trying to act like they're some nobodies, and it's irritating. It really is irritating. But Lucius and them, they got him together. They got Devon together. He did his first little showing. The guy was there. He came, presented the figure to Lucius and Cookie. They're sitting there, and Cookie's like, baby, excuse me, but that price there, that has actually doubled at this point. And you could do some changes and get back with us quickly, or it'll be then triple. And he was like, okay. It's cool. Double, no problem. I have the paperwork ran over to me. I said, that's right. And that's what I'm talking about. Stop this bullshit. Stop this bullshit because there's still Cookie and Lucius. Now, just stop it. These people are driving me crazy with this shit. So I'm like, okay, so they got Devon all squared away. Tiana, on the other hand. Now, Tiana was making some bad moves. Y'all know that Tiana was running around here with Blake, and they did a fierce little track, which Hakeem actually wrote the damn lyrics. And Blake actually did them, but never told Tiana. And there was some chemistry starting to take place with Blake and Tiana. We seen it. Only problem, Hakeem done picked up on it, okay? And then the whole thing came out because they performed the song, and Tiana got mad because old boy started giving her the blues. He didn't even like it. He tried to throw it out. He's just being mean to Tiana because of the Lions. He's being mean to her and pushing her. And she basically told him and Becky to go straight to hell. Told Becky, I'm not going to keep being put on the back burner. I'm not going to keep on waiting until you got my back. I'm going to do my own shit. So she leaked the song. It ended up being a whole big mess. Kingsley just snapped out. Was like, that shit, man, worked when you was with the Lions, but that ain't going to work here. So it was a whole mess. So we end up getting into a whole situation where Blake was trying to get in touch with Hakeem when that whole release was taking place. Blake kept trying to call Tiana, kept trying to call Hakeem. Nobody was answering him. Trying to explain himself is what he was doing. Trying to put a fire out. Him and Hakeem, naturally, they got the fighting, child. And Tiana didn't know that the lyrics weren't written by Blake. But regardless, you were moving funky, Tiana. So they ended up going through it. Blake and Hakeem, that friendship has been ruined. They didn't got the fighting and carrying on. It was a mess. And then Hakeem was like, I'm tired of people taking from me. And then that's when we go back to what actually happened with Tiana. Tiana was pregnant. Y'all remember that? With twins. It was a boy and a girl twin. And the whole shooting with Blake's dad and all of that, what actually happened. Because we know we've seen this one baby, which is the little boy. The little girl was stillborn. She died. So this is what the whole thing is. And they've been basically going through, the two of them have been going through, but not going through and grieving it together. They've been just going through. And it all came to a head in that moment. And Hakeem's like all pissed off. And then once he said his piece, then Tiana told him, hey, man, I'm hurting too. Every time I close my eyes, I see her just like you do. She was my daughter too. And all of this. So then Hakeem's like, oh, God, I'd have fucked up. So then he's like, Tiana, I'm sorry, this, that, and the other. Tiana's like, nope. You're right. I'm tired of people taking from me. I'm tired of being taken advantage of. I'm tired of people taking me for granted. I am done. I'm done. And she walked on off. And that's what the name of the twins were, Prince and Princess. She's like, I'm done. Then we got Andre running around here. Andre just wants to be in these streets so bad. But then he started to see, this was another one, people's perception of you. He met up with some of his friends from college. And they were blurting out different things about people who are in jail, people who are incarcerated, this, that, thing, and the other. Now, you know, Andre has really taken a liking to the little boy that he was taken care of at the jail. And his mother. And he was very offended by the things that were coming out of his friends' mouths. And he basically brought it to him and was like, everybody who's in there is not an animal. You know, this, that, thing, and the other. And they were like, well, I mean, you know, you're different. No, you're not different. When you ain't around, they think the same thing about you too. And he picked up on that. So he got a little taste of that. So that was another little PSA they got on there. People's perception, honey, and how shady folks can be. Then Andre actually did some real stuff as it pertains to the mother. Because Cookie and him had a conversation, and Cookie told him, he was saying, I wanted to give some money to leave some money on the books for the folks that are left behind. But the money wasn't there. They don't have the money. And Cookie said, well, the thing is, if you think that you could only be a help to us or to other people just by money, then I've failed you. So then it was like, okay, slow down, Andre, slow down. So he went to see the little boy, and he was there on a visit with the boy and his mother. And then they ended up having this conversation, and the reality of his charges actually came out in that conversation, and the mother was kind of like, okay, wait a minute. So you actually did kill Anika Calhoun. And he's like, yeah, he said it happened, and she took everything away from me, my wife, my child, and all that, and it just didn't sit right with his mother. She's like, murder. And he says, I didn't plan to kill Anika. Anika ended up dying. He said, but I did actually plan to kill the man who was going to eventually kill your son. Now that I did. I never told you I was squeaky clean or anything like that, but I did kill the man. I did that. That I made a whole conscious decision to kill the man that was going to kill your son. Once I left there, he was going to kill him. And he's like, she said, I need my son out of jail. That's what I need. Because he's like, let me get you what you need. Let me be what you need. And she's like, I need my son out of jail. I need my son out of there. And he's like, that's fine. We'll do that. And I said, girl, you paying attention to what he's telling you, bitch? He wants you, honey. Told her, let me be what you need, honey. I said, oh, go ahead, Andre. So next week we seen them walking, honey. I said, he gonna get her, honey, with his fine self. He gonna get you, girl. He's gonna get you. Just walk lightly, cause he's crazy, girl. But it's okay. He good. He's good, but he's crazy. We like him, honey. So last thing, Kai grabs up Jamal and lets him know, life is too short. And he busts down on one knee, honey, and go to propose to Jamal. And Jamal's like, you stole my move. And then he goes over to the piano, and then he busts down on his knee. They both was doing the exact same thing. They both had done got rings and was proposed to each other. So we got a double proposal. And yeah, interesting. And there was a whole thing at the club, and this was again another time too fast. There was a performance at the club, and it's just a few days after Cookie had her whole breakdown. She didn't figured out the whole HIV positive versus AIDS and all of that. Her and Kai had a conversation, and it was all cleared up. And then it was okay. He's all good. I was like, no, Lee, no. That was too fast. That was too fast. So I said, oh, Empire. And when that happened, I almost didn't do this review because I was like, see, bullshit. I call bullshit. But whatever. I did it. I did the review. I did it. But that was too fast. They cleared up 2 storylines way too fast in one episode. I didn't like that. But whatever. Anyway, there it is. There's a review for Empire. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys soon.